Right. So, hello everyone, and welcome to another session for GameNet. Today, we're gonna talk about spawning and the overriding the network manager, right? So, reminder lang, I think later June na yung module 1. Yeah. I think 11:59. Hold on, let me double check. 2:53. That's such an odd number. Hmm, 2:53. Oo nga 'no. Let me make it to 11 PM sa mga hindi pa nag-ano, nag-submit. If, Big Sky will allow me. Medyo parang mabagal yung ano, Big Sky yan. But anyway, yeah, no, that thing's true. Tapos, we'll discuss rin later yung ano, for the next one. Pero wala pa eh. What I'm thinking of is ayun, we're gonna wala namang homework for this weekend. For this week. Pero next week. I mean, the week, yeah, next week, dun may due date tayo. May Dropbox for that module 2. But anyway, yeah. Uh, Overriding network manager and then spawning. Does anyone have any questions for the module 1 ever and ever yung previous topics natin? Ah, how much game do you? It doesn't have to be like a big game. At least use some of the use the required um features. No, just command RP, command RPC. I don't expect like a big game. You can make it as simple as no, as platform. You don't even have to. You don't even have to to put a game loop. Just start it off. And then when the Dropbox goes 11:59, technically no. Wala siyang end date. It'll still be open. But do try to submit by 11:59. Tapos, I forgot to reply no to Justin. You can use the same game for modules 1, 2, and 3. If you want to, yeah. But for the final project, it will be a whole different game naman. Okay? So you can still use for the same game for all the 3 modules. Okay? Uh, Questions? Clarification? Sure. Kung nasa UI lang, okay lang. Yeah, that's fine. As long as you know how to use both, no. Will the class be recorded? Yes, it is recording right now. Okay. Any more questions? None? Spawn traps. Yeah, okay. There we go. Well, That's fine. We're gonna talk about spawning. we'll, we'll probably we'll probably encounter yung whatever you're encountering. Okay lang kung ano, kung kulang pa yung like actual game sa module 1. As long as you're using the features, no, that's fine. So hindi pa maganda yung submission ko. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. I don't mind about if it's nice or not. As long as I can see you using it, and then I'll give you feedback if there's something wrong with your implementation. Okay, so don't worry, please. Don't worry too much on the game. Literally, if you just want to make a simple game lang like platforming, literally, whoever falls down loses kind of game, go ahead. I don't mind. What I'm really looking for here is you using yung features of mirror and multiplayer. Okay, don't worry too much. Don't worry too much. No, it's a game part. Okay. Any more other questions or clarification? None. Sige, we'll start. So, I guess start muna ako sa spawning. Mamaya na lang yung ano, network manager. So spawning. Um, when it comes to like yung offline natin na single player games that we create in Unity, spawning is as easy as using instantiate lang, no? However, if you think about um uh multiplayer, how will the objects spawn? How will they keep the same positions or whatever, right? So yeah, that's what we're gonna tackle. So we'll see what the problem is when we try to just instantiate. First, let me create a simple ball. Do I need a script? Sige, no. Let's create a simple ball lang. We have the ball. Let's give it a rigid body, 2D. Let's give it. Let's try to give it a network rigid body. Let's give it a network identity, and then let's put a circle collider. So there's our circle collider. Then for our sprite, let me make it a child actor sprite render. Can I create a circle here? Again, circle. So there's our circle. Let's make it. There. Okay, so here's our ball, which is just a rigid body 2D circle collider and then sprite render. Let's put it in our prefabs. So let's try spawning it. Let's put it under the code of player controller. Then gawin natin if we press Q. Oh no, put this out first. If we press Q, if we put that get key down, key code Q, I'm gonna spawn the object. Game object ball prefab. The ball prefab. instantiate ball prefab, and then I want to spawn it um on top of me, on top of the object. So position will be this dot transform dot position plus new vector 0 8 0. Pattern yon identity. Okay, so here's our ball. Then let's put it here in our prefab. Here's our player prefab. There's the ball prefab. Let's put it here. And okay, let's try. Open new edit one. Sure, you can ask your question later after class. See, while this other one is opening, let me show what it looks like. So if I press, oops, I did not. What did I do? This one. Okay, because we're working with that. So this is our ball, and you'll notice it's working correctly now, working as intended. But let's put it here. Let's put the other client here. Maximize. Oops, I should not have maximized that one. Hi. Okay, let me just change the code. Let me just movement. Mm, anyway, I'll fix it later. So if I try to, it's not even replicated. Oh, hold on. What did I do? Yeah. That's why I had the CMD send message. Sorry. Let me just put a network transform and make this time dot. Now you're not moving. Ah, it's moving so slow. Hold on. If movement is that equals vector 0. The reason why it's not moving is because each time I just try to press it once. I mean, it's a get key down. But anyway, if it is not equal to 0, meaning, because we have here vector dot 0. If it is not equal to 0, meaning there's a value here, I will move it. Ayan. Okay, sorry. So here, let's try spawning the ball. So here's our first problem. Right now, it's not spawning for the player or for the other client. It's only spawning on whoever is calling it. So on a fixed end, we can do CMD and RPC. So let's try to do that. Command void CMD spawn ball. And then we also have client RPC void RPC spawn ball. In here, we I want to tell to everyone to spawn this ball. I think I want to set the position. Vector 3 position. Vector 3 position. The reason why I want it set here, I'm thinking there might be a case where if I just use this, it might spawn on some other person's position. No? So what I want is right here. I'll use CMD spawn and then this that transform that position. Okay. So ang ginawa natin RPC. CMD RPC. And let's try it out. Okay. So it's actually not spawning for the other one. I'm trying to spawn it here. Why is not working? Okay, so that's one problem. Huh. So now we think maybe not here. Maybe we spawn here kaya? And then hold on. Vector 3 position equal to this that transform that position. So this one parang medyo hacky na. Ang ginagawa natin on the client, we spawn it and then we CMD and then RPC spawn it to everyone else, supposedly. So try natin. So now it's spawning for both. But you'll notice there's something off. Some of the balls here on the right side is not moving the same as on the left. Right now we have 4 balls in here. This one is above. And now it can shut out. Right? And this one, it's not even working. Should have RPC. Is it spawning twice? It is spawning twice. Ay, tama. Kaya pala. Sorry. Client RPC. I think with that, we don't even use this. But the outcome should still be the same. Join. Yeah, outcome is still the same. The balls are not the same. The physics of both are not acting correctly. What if I wanted sana the physics of a ball to follow? Then you have a problem, right? So how do we fix this? Now, if you check Mirror's documentation, they have a specific way to spawning prefabs. How do we do that? One is in the network manager, you will have noticed the registered spawnable prefabs. So we would actually use this. This one populate, I think, sige, ito muna. So if you press the plus sign, this appears, and then you put in the prefab that you want to spawn, that you want to be able to spawn for the players. No. Then instead of instantiate, we use also another um code for it. Actually, we don't even need client RPC. So let's get this. Let's put this here first and comment this out. So instantiate. Instantiate, and then this one game object is equal to, oops, not object, obj about prefab. And then what you do is network server dot spawn. So that's all you need. With this, it spawns an object and also assigns a client to a specified client. So we call this in the command in the server. So what's the object? This one. The player who owns it, this. Oops. This dot game object. So try natin ulit. Join. And you can see they are now following the exact physics that we want. So it doesn't have to be rigid body. We can also use transform. Okay. So when do we want to use this? We don't want we want to use this if we want both of the players to have an actual object that's that will be used or that is useful for both for all the clients. If you only want an object just for uh just to create effects, like the particle effects. Maybe you want some explosion particle effect when when a object hits something. That one you don't need. You don't need to put it under the spawnable, right? Because it doesn't have to appear for everyone. The explosion. It doesn't have to appear like in the same position as same whatever. You could just skip that part. Alright, so only for things that will appear, that you need to appear for both. And you can do the spawnable game objects. Now with this you can actually have access to the the scripts and other stuff in the prefab. So we can go like object dot get component rigid body 2D that velocity is equal to maybe let's give it a random velocity. Vector 2 ano vector 2 and then random value times 10 random value times 10 then normalize times 5. All I did is just a random value between 0 to 10 and then I just normalize it so it's like a circle and times 5. Okay, now you'll see that if you try to spawn it in the server and the server side, it should be correct. There. Yeah. So you see, it is tama naman. If you want, we can lower natin yung height nito. Okay? So tama naman. You can access the values, the functions of the game object, and it will apply. But the thing is, you'll notice here in the client side is the server on the left, is the client on the right. You'll notice the velocity is not correct. Also, I'm being dragged down, right? The velocity, this part, is not running correctly. So why do you think the velocity here is not correct? Dito on the server side, tama. Yan yun. Why do you think on the server side, accessing the velocity and changing its value works? But here on the client, accessing the value, changing the value, there's nothing to it. It spawns with zero velocity. Anyone? Uh, Hint. It has something to do with servers. The server. No, see that. See that. So the reason why is this is happening in the server command, right? When we do this, object.component velocity, we're doing this on the server. The problem here is this part. It is owned, or the authority is owned by this game object. Meaning, in the client side, we did not do this. Right? It's only on the server. What it's trying to do is replicate the velocity, all the um properties, all the values of this object from the client side. Ginawa natin to sa sa server. Now we have a problem. Now one way we can go through this, to go about this, is creating a client RPC. We need to make it so that when we spawn this, we'll change the velocity on the client side, so that at this part it will be correct. So how do you do that? Uh, One, I see. Ang gawin natin, let's create a function, a script for the ball. Ball, demo ball. So demo ball, let's go create we'll make it a network behavior. We create the client RPC and go void set, oh, public void set velocity, and then vector to velocity. Let's go create a rigid body property, rigid body 2D property, rigid body rb is equal to get component there. If rb, okay, just to check, rb dot velocity is equal to velocity. Don't forget the RPC. RPC set velocity, velocity. So if you try to call this one, uh, get component demo ball, and then RPC set velocity. Here's our velocity. Doing so should allow us to make it work. Oops. Where's my other? There you go. If I go play, there. So on this side, I press Q. What do you have? Unspawned object. Great. You have to spawn first. Oops. Now it's not working. If not RB, return. Ah. Sorry. Um, where's our ball? Ball. Demo ball. Rigid body 2D. Let's try to make it work. Technically, I can just put this down here now. Let's see if that worked. Post. There we go. And then join. It's gonna be a bit weird. Weird. On this side, tama naman siya, no? But you'll notice there's a bit of delay on the left. All right, it's a bit weird. Kind of want to fix it. Hey, there's probably a way to do that, but uh, anyway. So yeah, you see the spawning works here. Questions? Clarification? None. Now, there's also a way if you want to create your own like your own game object and then you want it to spawn for everyone. So why would you do that? Maybe you want a game object with like specific scripts in it, like components, right? Like if you want to do that, there's a way to register it first into the network server. Uh what does it look like? What is this? Is it network server? No, network. That's not server. Register. No, network. No, hold on. Let me pull that up. GAMENET. Uh, mm, oh, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. So you'd have like system.guid, guid is equal to new ah, system.guid, new guid. Why do we need this? You'll see in a while. So ID is equal to network identity dot asset guid to un. Finally, network client dot register prefab. So that's a lot. So what we will need is a game object that you want to be as a prefab, and then give it the ID. Okay. So this is the way. This is the way for that. So you will have like game oops, game object is equal to new game object. You'll be like now I'm not sure why would you do it. No, again, might be part of your code where you need to add components. You'll be like add component, and then maybe like box collider 2D, also a we don't forget the a network identity, and then you can have it um GUID. Oops, sorry, ID. Okay, so we can test this out. Let's also put a game object in. Game object, um new prefab. And this is there pala. New prefab. Yeah. Let's put it to E. If I input that get key down, E code E, this. Now if new prefab is equal to null, I'll use this one. Then I'll go command here. Command void cmd spawn object. And then game object equals to instantiate the new prefab, and then network server dot spawn object this dot game object spawn. Okay, let's try that out. Press E. If there's no new prefab, I'll create a new prefab. Register it on the network manager, and then try to spawn it. Let's see if it works. I press E, and there we go. It is now spawning this new game object that we created. And then how do you know if it's the right one? Let's put a name. Int count equal to 0. Uh, in here, let's go obj the name is equal to, let's format it, game new game object, and then count. plus plus. Okay. E, we have that. Join. Oh, we have a problem. Could not spawn. Failed to spawn object. Di niya makuha. Failed. Forget to add it to the network manager. No, I did not fail to forget. Could be that the prefab here. Yeah, could be it. Failed to spawn. Server command. But anyway, yeah, it's possible. But you just have to do it properly. No, kailangan. I think you have to do it on the server first, so that on the server, uh, it will update here in the network manager. But yeah, it's possible. It's possible to create your own prefab dynamically, and then have it spawn for everyone. Okay. Questions? Clarification? None. So if you want, oh, I should have talked about something. If you want, what are you supposed to do? All right, interaction of these spawn objects with the world. So gawin natin, let's go create a on component. On collision enter 2D. If it hits the player, um, it will do something. So if collision, let's put here player controller. Player controller is equal to collision dot game object dot get component player controller. If controller, then let's do whatever needs to be done. But if it's not, either way, we delete. Oops, sorry. This dot this. Yeah, this is not destroy. This no destroy this. Sorry. Okay. What do we have self player? What do we want? What have I done with player? Nothing. It's blank. I just put a help. Int help. Let's make this public. Let's give it initial value of 100. And then let's go void take damage. Int value. Go health minus equals to value. If health is less than 0, health is equal to 0. Make this public. And controller dot take damage. Okay, so this part we're gonna. I forgot to. We're supposed to teach this to you guys. So we have our two objects here, our two clients. If I press Q, there's a wall. Hold on. My bad. That is player control. Oh, collision enter. You are definitely not colliding because ball does not have ball. No, ball does not have ball. No, what kind of ball is there? Hold on. Ah, okay, okay. I see. If it hits something, we destroy the whole object. What did you hit? Sorry. Let me just. What is it hitting above there? Okay, okay. There we go. So, uh, timeout. Okay, so our ball's working correctly, at least on the server side. You'll notice the health of this of the client is now 90. It is now turning 80. I just hit myself, so I'm 90, 70. Problem is, it is still 100 here. So why do you think that is happening? Why is it that I am still 100 here? Anyone? Why do you think that the on the server side it's working correctly? Let me just move this to the right side and join. We try it on the client side. 90, 90, 80. But in here, it was 90. The one on the left. 70. Now 60. 60. 50. So things are not syncing up. No. So why do you think? None. So the reason why this is not syncing up is because this collision. Where is it happening? No, that is the question. If it happens, if there's a delay, that happens, we are destroying it on the server. Let's see on the server. We destroy it on the server, and then what happens in the client? That's the question. Will this happen on the client when it is already destroyed on the server? So that's one problem. Another problem, what if maybe we just have to send it to everyone before we take damage? So we can try that. we'll go private uh, command void cmd deal damage int value and game object. No, player controller control, and then RPC client RPC void RPC deal damage int value player controller. We can go control. Oh, sorry. RPC deal damage value controller, and then controller dot take damage value. And here we have CMD deal damage, then controller. So let's try that. So if it uh, collides, we tell first to the server, and then the server tells it to everyone. And then we can actually go like more specific now. If uh, is server, just to make sure it is the server that is doing this. Let's see if that works. So let's see. It none. Ah, 100, 100. Uh, so something here happened wrong. Probably the is server. Debug that log. Hello. It's server. Join. It did nothing. Hmm. TMD deal damage. It it literally got destroyed first before dealing the damage. Okay. Hold on. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we're dealing with this problem. Lots of questioning. Either do we send it to command? Uh, shouldn't be able to just RPC. We could try to do that. Let your RPC. We make sure that it is the server here. If is server RPC deal damage. So again, CMD of the command and RPC could get confusing at times. But the solution to this is actually very easy. Host join. So supposedly I dealt damage to myself. Ah, yeah. What if you try to do with this? Destroy. chances are you're destroying it first before actually sending the message. Join. Literally nothing. Okay, yeah, it will be like that. Why won't it send a message? It is controller. It's server. Even a server is not working. There. Without active server. So that's the part now. There's something weird happening within command and RPC. But if the only thing that you're trying to do right now is try to sync the values together of, let's say, itong health. You want to sync it for both server and client. There's actually an easier way to doing this instead of just doing command and RPC. When you could actually just use a attribute called var sync, a syncvar, meaning synchronize variable. You read it, uh, when sync direction is equal to server client, etc. Ayun. It tells you how it works. So you'll notice that in our player, our health, where's our, there, here we go. Our health now has a sync var, and we have server to client, client to server, etc. For now, ang gusto ko, maybe what you would want to always happen is you would want to make things work on the server. If something's gonna happen, we make it happen on the server. Hindi dapat sa client. Okay? So what we do, uh, controller, this CMD, we will literally say controller dot take damage value. Remember, this take damage all it does is health minus equals value. But we are doing it on the server. So let's test it out. I hit here. Uh, called on bulk loan without authority. So we are now dealing with authority issue. If if is hold on. Let's server node. Ito rin. So what I'm doing here, supposedly what I'm doing here, it should only work for the server. Kanina kasi it tried to do it on the client. Okay, so it is working. Join. Okay, let's try. Oh, here. So it hit the player. Of course, I didn't delete it yet. It hit the player. We should now have 90. So 190. If I hit again. Oh, again, authority issue. Authority issue. Server. Ah, no, my bad. Okay, right here. Authority issue. Hold on, hold on. Why are you going authority issue? Condition enter. This controller. Yeah, CMD deal damage. Sent to server. Ah, this. I think this is the one. This take damage. Take damage. Possibly. Should I set it to server also? Sure. Supposedly not. Sorry. Let me just double check. Avoid CMD take damage and value. Command. Yeah. Yeah. 37. 37. Command CMD. If a server. It's weird. It wasn't appearing before. Unless I skipped something. Hold on. Walang authority ulit. Oh, this is getting bad. The server. Dito naman. I didn't hit. Okay. Uh, what, what happened? Is server. Anyway, that's so weird. 100, 90, 100, 90. And what he did was we only did send it to the server. We made sure it's only happening on the server. This one is literally just take damage, minus lang the health in the player controller. Ah, it's so weird. Okay. So if you try it on the other end, client will try to hit the player. Let's go here to the right, join on the left, shoot, and then we have authority. Authority on what? 40, 40. CMD take damage. Well, it's not. It is a server. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna get back to you guys on this one. It's not working properly. Do I even have to send it to the server? Wait, 10. Let me just, let me just double check this one. Host, join. What do you have? 90, 10, 90, 10, 90. Only because that happened on the server. But if we go to here, we have client try to do that. What are we looking at? 90. It didn't work. Oh no, wait. 90. We should have 90. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. My bad. You're not supposed to CMD anymore. As long as you change the value, it should sync properly for everyone. Okay. So what happens is, uh, it's happening. This thing, this code right here on collision enter is actually happening for both. But because we have is server, we're making sure that it's only happening on the server, and then we only do control take damage. So this is happening again on the server. Hence, everything is just updating in the server. With the Syncvar right here, it syncs from the server to the clients because what we set here on the player server to client. Hence, it's sending it correctly. Okay? Sorry. Medyo, medyo nalito din ako to. It's, it will be like that. CMD server, that's so weird. Anyway, questions for this one. Syncvar. So Syncvar, all it does, it helps in synchronizing the values of variables. So Syncvar works for not just int, but if you want, it can also have float, double. Um, you can't really sync var scripts that you created. Uh, I don't think you can sync var game objects as well. So if you want to check the documentation for this, you can actually check it out under and mirror. Questions? Clarification? So data types. Oh, it does. Pretty cool. Even scriptable objects. So yeah, you can check this out muna. What other data types it can support. Questions? Since it was sync varying. Yeah, yeah. Literally, if you want to make sure that it's working, the value appears correctly on both on everyone's end, you can just put it to a sync var. That way, you could skip the client RPC and the command. Or depende, if you want to send a command. Kasi right now, um, ito kasi, uh, right now kasi yung on collision enter ko, this one is happening on both client and server. That's why I had to add this one. But if you want, you can simply you can just do CMD deal damage. Okay. After class? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can ask. Uh, any other questions? Last yung ano, yung network manager. Very, very mabilis lang. Sige, no questions. Anyway, last one. Last one is network manager. So, what if ano? What if you have a game where, because right now both our objects here have the same controls. What if you have a game that you want a different control for the other player? What if you have a game where something happens the when a player joins or when a player exits, like an update, a text that this happened, that happened, right? So there's actually a way for you to do that. If you go to assets, create, mirror, network manager. This creates a script. Let's say demo network manager. Let me just put this under scripts. There. So you'll notice here we have Unity callbacks, which is the usual start, update, late update, start, stop. And then we also have these on server connect, on server ready, server add player, server disconnect. We also have for clients on client connect, on client disconnect, on client not ready, etc. etc. So we have these. You can these are overrides because this is coming from the actual network manager. We are just a child class of network manager. And with these overrides, we could do things. What can we do? What if I want a text to appear when the what you call this? When the player exits. For now, let's do like debug. Uh server on server connect. So what if it only happens in the server? Let me just do let the oops. You can go debug let log. Uh, let's go format con. Oops, sorry. Con that address con that uh address. Yeah, we'll go with address is connected. Layer con address is connected. And then let's say on disconnect. I'll just copy that. Disconnected. So what would that look like? Host join. Ah, sorry. Forgot to change our network manager here. We use the demo network manager, but this is gonna not that one. Remove, remove, remove. demo network manager. We add in again the offline, online, the KCP transport, the player prefab. Let me just put the ball here also. Okay. There we go, host. Sorry. Let me just connect this. Start host. Start client. There we go. Player localhost is connected. Join. Player colon 1 is connected. Then if I disconnect it, player colon 1 disconnected. Okay. So we can have that. We have that option. What if you want the different controls? So we can actually use on server add player. So in here on server add player, we have access to con.identity. Identity is literally the network identity. So we can do .game object. See, this identity doesn't get added on until here for the game object. So it doesn't get added on until this part. Dito, wala pa eh. Wala pa siya dito. On server ready, on server connect. Oh, hindi ako on ready. Uh, which one? On server when the client is ready. I don't know. Dito. So this content identity.game object, I can go maybe uh let's give another let's get another controls here. Let's say this is the um I don't know. In here now. Maybe we like bool is player one. Right. So if it is player one, if it is player one, maybe I want times three then. Else maybe times five. Client RPC. I feel like I should also RPC this one. Technically I can server Syncvar. Syncvar makes life easier. Public. Okay. Game object dot get component player controller is player one is equal to count. Wait, this that there should be a number. Num players. So this one, if the number player is equal to one, it is true. So that is player one. If it is not, then anyone else is player two. Anyway, let's try that out. Play, play, host. I'm moving normally. Join. This is times five. Okay, so those are two controls. You could do, if you want, you could choose to create like different controllers. Player controller for player one and another player controller for player two. And then all you have to do is disable the right script for it. You do that inside on server add play. Okay, so that's another way. So yeah, you have that access. You have also other things here that you can play around. Maybe on server error. You can also do client. Yeah, start stop. Again, start host, start server. You have all of these options depending on your use case. All right. Any questions? Clarification? None? Okay. There's no questions. Uh, yeah. So, no, wala naman ko yung due na project module for next week. But by starting, we'll meet up again next week. Then I'll discuss yung module two. Module two again, you'll just be using the same features that you're seeing here. And you also have later on about lobby. So you can have a lobby where you can set maybe the name where people can ready up before starting the game. So we'll talk about that next week. All right. So if there are no questions, that's it for today. I'll be seeing you guys again next week. And uh, ingat kayo and stay safe. Yeah. See you guys next week. Bye.